Big up, everybody. Welcome back to TJ Ward TV. Welcome back to another match reaction. Arsenal have won 1-0 against Crystal Palace at the Emirates. We are here to talk. We are here to review what I thought was a mediocre watch, to be 100% honest with you. But hey, at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. Dal, how you doing, bro?
I'm fantastic. I thought that was a great game.
What about that game did you like in particular, other than the result?
Number one, Crystal Palace have only conceded, I think, 5 or 6 goals this season.
Yeah, that's their first loss in the league in a while too.
Right. So
Yeah.
number one, I predicted 3-0 because I just thought we'd come off the cloud of Atletico Madrid. Big up Hugo. Big up always. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's 9 a.m. here on the West Coast, a little early. But yeah, no, I thought that it was a solid performance. I thought Zubimendi was fantastic. I thought Trossard was fantastic. I thought Saka was probably the weakest link. Obviously he got stinker and hooked. He only had one dribble in the box in the 65 minutes he was there. But other than that, I thought it was a straight ahead 1-0 win. I mean, they didn't have 0 shots on target. Maybe one at the end. I mean, we played a little more defensive than we would like to play, but I thought everyone played well. Rice and Timber, oh my days. How many times did Rice pocket Sarr?
All game.
Like, ran up behind him and just took the ball away like it was like butter on toast. We gave up 1 shot on target. Okay. Oh, hey, Hugo, hold your anger in, buddy, because that was, it could have been a little bit more offensively better, TJ, but at the same time, I thought the passing was great. I thought Trossard was incredible today, even though I would have liked a little more on the offensive end. I thought Eze gets my man of the match for an incredible goal.
What a fucking goal. What a goal.
Center, bro. Yeah, incredible goal. And I thought Gabriel was good. I don't know what happened to Saliba. Maybe he pulled a hamstring or something. And I thought Calafiori was kind of silent, but that's okay because he was defending more than he was just going like a wild stallion up the middle, and playing in. He wasn't inverted as much. But all in all, man, I thought it wasn't that bad. I mean, always is saying it was stinky performance. I slightly disagree with that. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. It was better than what we saw at Fulham last weekend. So that's a bit better. But yeah, we should have had a few more opportunities. But other than that, bro, I thought everyone played really well. Again, I think Saka was a bit of the weakest link, but at the same time, he's double teamed. He's not getting in the box. He's getting the ball, to Gyökeres. I don't think the Gyökeres Saka connection is quite linking yet.
Big up Twisted Fate, man.
Big up Twisted Fate. So I think there's a lot of work to do between Gyökeres and Saka. But other than that, I'm going to take a 1-0 against a decent team all day long. I mean, it wasn't the Atletico Madrid, but I wasn't expecting that. Again, 3-0, I thought we'd score early and then maybe a couple in the middle of the second half. But they really stepped it up at about the 75th minute, and it made it a little difficult, a little edgy for us. But other than that, man, 6 points above. City lost today. Thank you, Unai Emery. You're the man. Good evening. Holland dropped points. Exactly. So, and Liverpool obviously dropped points. Chelsea dropped points. And I'm not overly worried about Sunderland or Bournemouth. I think over time those teams will flatten out a bit.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth are serious, but Sunderland will definitely even out. I mean, they'll finish mid-table, but they're staying up. This is what's so great about this league. Before I get into the game, this season so far, the parity has not been as great as it's been the last couple of seasons. So it's been a great watch. Right. I mean, you have Man United now in contending for Europe. And they've been garbage. Like, you could argue, but they've won their last 4 out of 5, dude. They won their last 4 out of 5. They might be as back as they can be in a Ruben Amorim system. But yeah, no, the parity this season's been fantastic. And the one consistent team that's been out there has been Arsenal. Right. So, and that is, I'm not saying October champions or anything like that, but it's looking very, very good. 6 points clear. Right. No matter how the other results go. Obviously, only Tottenham, Spur are left to play. But yeah, man. I'm really enjoying the football.
Is my video go out? I don't know why.
Your video went out. out. I don't know. You're super.
Let me.
You're frozen now.
Let me refresh.
Come back in.
Sorry, buddy. Let me refresh here.
Yeah, tag out, come back in. No, but yeah, StreamYard's been acting fucking weird all day, guys. It's been ridiculous. I couldn't even load in right off the bat. But let me know what you guys are thinking about the game. Honestly, my thoughts are a little bit more negative, and people are gonna give me shit about this. But my thoughts are we took way too long to grow into that game. I think we didn't look serious until the Eze goal. We did not look serious whatsoever. We were giving them their chances. There was one chance where Munoz was barely offside and he got a good shot in on Reyes. It's like, okay, are we gonna allow them to counter us like this? Because there were certain points in that first half where they were just playing 11 behind the ball and they were just going to try to counter us, which I'm like, okay, like I get it. That's a solid strategy against us, but we know how to defend against us. We have not conceded a goal in 9 hours of football.
Yeah.
Like
fantastic.
That just shows how defensively solid we are, but we still aren't addressing the open play goal situation.
Right.
I think that at the end of the day, I don't care because we get a 1-0 win and we end up getting the 3 points anyway. But there are going to be matches where teams are going to make us pay for that. We will concede eventually. Like that's what a lot of people need to realize is that, yeah, like we can tout this defense, tell the cows come home. Obviously the best start defensively to a league season we've had. I think they said on TV like in 130 years. So it's like, what am I supposed to say? I can't be too negative about that, but we're taking way too long to grow into games. I thought Zubamendi started that game off completely awful. I think he was brutal. Really? And no, dude, he was bad. No, he was giving the ball away cheaply in the first half. Like he grew into it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
There was a couple of times. There were a couple of errant passes. Like I felt like in the first 10, 15 minutes of that match, they were sleepwalking essentially. But we did grow into it. Obviously, what did we say? We have a set piece. What's the recipe? Declan Rice takes it, and then somebody will bury it. Again, that placement was fantastic. He got the rebound. I don't remember who shot it, but rebound goes directly to Eze. Eze scissor kicks it in. Fantastic goal. I mean, what a way to open your account with Arsenal, obviously, against his former club. Man, I should have taken a flyer on that. I swear to God. You just kind of knew. You kind of knew that it was going to happen. It was inevitable. It was inevitable that Eze was going to score against his former club today. Fantastic. World-class taken goal. It was, I mean, that's going to be a goal of the month. That's going to be a goal of the month nominee, obviously. But Agreed. I thought Eze was fantastic, but I don't think he was our best midfielder. I thought Declan Rice was immense today. I think they took him off at the end as a precaution. I think he's going to be fine. He didn't look bad. Like I think they knew we were locking up shop. We put in Marino and Miles Lewis-Skelly in at the end, obviously, and Capie getting his first Premier League debut with us. I think he's going to look. I think he looked really, really good on it for the microwave minutes that he got. Right. But I mean, by the end of the game there, I mean, we were playing 5 out the back. We weren't trying to score.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I thought Capie, it made me a little nervous to bring a player who's basically coming back from injury essentially and is is on loan. I know that doesn't mean a whole lot, but that substitution made me a little nervous, and you could kind of see through Skelly's face there on the bench, kind of looking around, and I don't know. I don't know if I would have put Capie in because that game was not dead in the 88th minute, right? And the 85th minute, whenever he brought him in. I just thought that maybe go for Lewis-Skelly, who had a fantastic game against Atletico and kind of, a little more in tune with what's going on. I thought Capie would have been a little bit of a risk, and I didn't even know he was on the bench, to be honest. I didn't even look at the lineup. Yeah,
he replaced. I think he was a last-minute replacement for Dauman. I think he got like the 100% fit like right then, and so they dropped Dauman and put him in. Yeah, but again, like in Capie, he's a Bundesliga winner. My Ecuadorian sources, shout out RSM. My Ecuadorian sources are saying that he's going to be a starting fullback for us in the future. So I was happy to see him He looked calm. He looked on it. There was one time when the ball was going out and he was like sprinting to try to keep it in. I'm like, bro, just let that go out. Like,
right.
It's all right.
There's how he was moving towards the wide left a little bit. He was like pointing, making sure he was in the right area. And that's what I was watching. I was like, oh shit, if something happens and it's his fault, this is going to be awful. But yeah, that game was not over, dude, to the last second.
Yeah.
And is that worrying? I don't know. But again, Palace are very good. They're well managed. They're organized. They're not very good. They're good, right? And I still think they're going to fall back as well. I think the cream always rises to the top, as we know. But if we have a 6-point lead, bro, I mean, let's see where we're at Christmas time, because we got a run of games, through Christmas and Boxing Day that I'm not sure exactly who the teams were facing, but when they're all that close together, injuries can happen. Yeah, let's go Acers.
Come on, Toffees, baby.
Yeah, Toffees. I was actually texting with Deji earlier, and he was, I was poking at him a little bit. I said, "So is Frank out after this loss?" And he's like, "I don't know if we're losing, but yeah, Frank out." And he gave me a whole novel. At least he didn't sing it to me, so at least he didn't sing it or try and rap. So at least he didn't try to cut a single. Right? No. So big up, Deji. Hope you get pounded today. But yeah, I think overall, the first 20 minutes were a little. Right, but after that, after the Eze goal especially, that lit the fire under their asses, and we went on to do at least give them a game of it, and it was better than Fulham. I got to say, the Fulham game was absolutely awful, but 3 points, bro. We're top of the table. Liverpool lost, Chelsea lost, City lost. The glorious day of football.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an absolutely fantastic weekend, and you get to see, like, all my agendas are cashing in now. We got Sunderland getting a result. We got against the Chelsea. How embarrassing was that? And then we had Bournemouth doing a job on Nottingham Forest. Dyche on his debut, just getting absolutely dog walked.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen the highlights of that,
dude. Oh, yeah, I was just checking in throughout, bro. Yeti is not happy, and big up Yeti, but all the rest of the Nottingham Forest fans can hold that. They are going to be doing watch-alongs in the Sky Bet Championship. Like they look awful, and that criminal Marinakis still deserves it, in my opinion. Deserves it.
No, shit owner. I mean, also who else do they have? Oh, that's right, Edu to thank for this downfall.
Edu and Zinchenko.
There you go.
You remember that? Remember him?
No,
somebody asked me. They're just like, hey, did you guys see Zinchenko give up that goal for Nottingham Forest? I'm like, who?
Acer says, "Fuck Yeti." Oh man, I guess they had a little falling out. Okay, let's not dwell on that too much. But big up Acers, big up Yeti. It's all love from my side. I love you both as equals, of course. But Forest, they're gonna have a rough go of it. Gibbs White is not the player he was 2 seasons ago. Chris Wood could hit the broadside of a barn right now. His New Zealander traits are coming out, right? New Zealand international. Nah. But we're not here to talk about Forest, right? Let's not pile on something that we know is a pile.
Okay, fine, Dal, fine. I'll get off of it.
But I think there's something to talk about with United. I mean, and Bremo and Kuna, I watched that game yesterday morning for about 65 minutes, had a couple errands to run. That was good football to watch as a neutral. If you're a neutral, that was a great game.
I wasn't able to watch it. I need to go watch it.
Yeah, sorry about that. But the first 65 minutes of that, well, from what I saw, was a great game for the neutrals. It was back-to-back flowing football. Man United, I mean, Sesko is shit. We know that. But he's still that target man, and he still pulls the center backs away, which gives Mbeumo and Kuna room to operate. Amad Diallo was decent. I mean, I don't think they're going to finish in the top 4. I don't think I had them even in the top 6, because a loss, I think, will lead to another loss, maybe a draw, right? Once they hit that L, I think things start to break down again, because I think it's a real fragile team. But they looked good, bro, and they've won, I think, 3 in a row. The first time they've done that, I think, in 2 seasons. Yeah. So they've got, thank you, Acers, 5th. And let's talk, and one thing too, I think Villa are 6th and 7th now, who were down 17th, just like 3 or 4 weeks ago. We had a horrible start to the season.
Yeah, now I think they didn't score for 5 games.
Yeah, exactly. And now they just did one over City, a stinky 1-0. But the thing is, we're on top, and we're not conceding goals. We're not making mistakes. We still look a little sus in transition, like I've always said. If Gabriel just doesn't get that foot ahead of the striker, it can be peak at times. Or but with the solidity of Timber on that right side, I think that's shutting down the attack for a lot of these teams on their left side. Right, there's just nothing there. And Timber and Rice were phenomenal today, but I got to give it to Eze because that was a goal of the month goal. Jumped in the air, Robin Van Persie and buries it near post, top bins against his old club. Gives praise to Almighty Jesus, and doesn't celebrate against his own club. And I think in the second half he was a bit gassed. He was a bit gassed in the 55th, 60th minute.
Yeah.
But I still got to give him the man of the match, even though Rice and Timber are definitely up there. And I thought Trossard was good today, even though there wasn't as much penetration in the box, but his movement with the ball, getting their defense on the back foot, playing the ball back, making it run, nutmegging. I think he nutmegged Pino, or somebody nutmegged Pino at one time. So I just thought Trossard was a real handful for them because, he's in my opinion, one of our technically gifted footballers, even though I'd want to see more output on the goal side. Other than that, he was a threat, and they would double team him, play the ball out, and make a run. Somebody run behind him. So, I think the Trossard and Gyökeres link up is better than the Saka Gyökeres link up. Yeah. I don't think that's clicked yet, and I don't know if Saka is a bit injured. I don't know what's going on, but it's just not working for Saka right now, even though it looked okay against Atletico.
Yeah, I think that Saka is getting marked out of the game a little bit more than it's an injury. I don't think it's an injury. I think that teams still see him as a giant threat, and he's getting marked 2-3 men at a time. At points, look, there were moments of that game where Gyökeres just had nobody around him, and they were just marking out the wingers, and that's a problem because Gyökeres kind of gets lost out there if he doesn't have any service. Yeah, TJ, the sky is blue, right? That's just the way it is with Gyökeres,
right?
And look, at the end of the day, Trossard, you were spot on. Trossard was our best attacker today, just in terms of being able to create something and being dangerous in the final third and being somebody to worry about. Saka, I'm not worried about it. He'll come back. He didn't have the greatest of days today, but I think that was just because he was getting marked out so hard. We gotta talk a little bit about Victor Gyökeres though. I think that this guy is the hardest worker in the 11. Nobody works harder than this guy. You can say Declan. Okay, you can say Declan Rice, but just in terms of off the ball, marking, pressure, I think this guy will hold when Kai Havertz comes back, because that's the narrative. Well, when Kai Havertz comes back, he's going to lose his spot. I don't think he will, because he works so hard in the press.
Right.
I don't see anybody else in the Premier League pressing like Victor Gyökeres does, and eventually that's going to yield some results. Right. But right now it just isn't, and it makes him look really bad. But that's what Arteta wants him to be doing, and Arteta 100%. Obviously rates what he's doing on the pitch. Like, look, everybody's saying, "Oh yeah, no, he's the worst player on the pitch," but still, he has 5 goals in 6 games.
Right.
So at the Emirates, so it's like, where I want to see this guy start banging, and I think if he starts banging and he starts getting those goals, man, we're gonna be undeniable. Like it's at that point where I'll say, we're gonna win the league. But right now, it's too early. Number one, number two, there are just certain areas of the game where I'm like, I notice I'm not talking about the back line. I'm mostly talking about certain passages of play with the midfield, and then obviously the front three is still a little bit.
No, 100%, dude. Gyökeres, the holdup is good. It's not great. I still feel like he gets the ball and it's kind of juggling around a bit at his feet. And he's that one Trossard, when he made that run and played it off in the middle, striker should have been there.
Yep.
When that ball was kind of loose out there in the middle of the box, and Dean Henderson's like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" It's just, that's slippery slip for the goalkeeper, and the center backs are all beaten. If Gyökeres was just up there with Trossard at times, I think he would have slotted that from about 3 or 4 yards, because that was really, really close in the open net. But yeah, I was thinking about that too during the game and trying to figure out like what do I really think of Gyökeres, and I think that there's a little too much in the hold up play. It's just a bit much, right? His back is to the goal. He's pushing center backs. The ball gets to his foot. It kind of jumbles around in there, like I was saying. And then he has to play that short pass to an oncoming attacker, right? Or he has to try and work his way around. And it's just a little bit too much. I want to see him. I want to see him run the channel. Hopefully the ball gets played through and just dink it in front of him and then outpace the center back and then slam it in. Right, I think that he gets too lost in the ball, dinking around with it. And Acers is right. He suits Champions League just fine, right? Because some of these European defenses are, hit or miss.
They're not as fast and they're not as solid. Like let's be real. Like Atletico Madrid didn't mark him out correctly, and I think that we still have a problem with him to where he is not adjusted to the Prem yet. And we're getting into that section of the season where it's just like, okay, like maybe he's not going to be the prolific scorer that everybody thought he was going to be when he came to Arsenal. This is not the Portuguese league. This is arguably the hardest league in the world.
For sure.
And I just think he just looks he looks like he's adjusting still.
It's too much hold play, right? I mean, it's too much back to the goal. It's not free flowing yet.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing: is that like I don't think teams are setting up to allow that. I mean, when you're playing a low block like that, and they're playing so deep in their end that it's not like he's going to run in behind. He's only like I could count on like one hand how many times I've seen him run in behind and get a chance in the league. I think I can only count like 3 or 4 times where he did it, and he didn't do it at all. He didn't do it at all, and 2 of them were Leeds, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Maxime Lacroix and Marc Guéhi are very good center backs. I mean, Lacroix is their Saliba, right? He's still a French international, and Marc Guéhi, we know about him. We know he's one of the better defenders in the league, and that makes it tough. But again, it's just like it's not smooth, right? It looks some rough edges of him controlling the ball, and there's times he controlling the ball and would just lose it, or he would just kind of, like I said, dink it out to Eze or Rice or somebody, or even Saka. He was trying to, but but I agree with what you said. Over time, it's going to get better because we will find the channels more. He will get more opportunities, and maybe there's some set pieces in there if Gabriel misses one or nicks it and Gyökeres get a head on it or a foot on it. I mean, there's still going to be those opportunities. I just want to see him, just touch that ball a couple yards and just outpace the center back and, slot it across the face of goal into the far post. That's the Gyökeres I want to see. And I think, like you said earlier, that's what we'll get, but it's going to take time. I mean, again, it's his 9th game, 10th game in the show. I mean, it's just, for us to think these guys are going to hit the ground running right away, I know, Acers in the chat, Twisted Fate, we all know it takes time. And it took time with Kai Havertz. Remember January, February of 2024, we were scoring 31 goals and conceding 4 or 5. And Kai Havertz was, like intimate in that goal scoring, prowess we went on for a while. And that's what we'll get, I think, out of Gyökeres. But it may not be till later this season, and it may not even be till next season. I put him down to have 16 goals total this season, and already he's got
all comps.
7. Yeah,
in all comps. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping for at least 20 in the league, but I think I was just taking the gas at that point.
That's a little bit high for me. I think it's 16 all comps because when Kai Havertz does come back, he will play some of these international matches. He will play some cup games. If Kai Havertz was fit, I'm sure he'd be playing. I think we got Brighton coming up.
Yeah, Brighton.
So I think that would be. I just think something for, like Kai Havertz if he was fit, but I would still play Gyökeres over him anyway. Oregon, let me hold you on that. Gyökeres does need time, but Sesko needs time to you, but you call him trash. Because Sesko does not have the goal-scoring history or the prowess or movement that Gyökeres does, point blank.
Yeah. Sesko
I never rated Sesko.
Cesco is not the finished product yet, but United fans, and big up Twisted Fate, but United fans are gassing him up just because of Cope. I remember the last time when you guys were linked to Gyökeres more strongly than we were, you guys were talking shit on Cesco. Like people forget that, and people just run agendas. And I think that they're two players in different phases of their career. Gyökeres, what you see with Gyökeres is kind of going to be what you get, whereas Cesco is still developing and he still has a lot of things left to develop in his game. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a good striker. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that he's not necessarily up to speed either. Right. Like, let's be real.
I'll give Fate the benefit of the doubt. Calling him trash is okay. Maybe that's a little bit wild, but I'm an Arsenal fan. I've been Arsenal fan.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
7 years. I'm gonna call United players trash. Trash is wild. I'll give you that one, Fate. I didn't realize you were a United fan. Shout out to Ruben Amram. Shout out to Casermo with a fantastic deflected goal yesterday. But the thing is that Cesco is what 21, 22. Gyökeres I think is 27. I mean, and I know the goals were for Sporting, but he scored 92 goals in 2 seasons. Cesco doesn't even hold a candle to that. Right. And I do go by history because we said Kai Havertz was shit at Chelsea. And then, he looks, in my opinion, has gotten better in an Arsenal shirt. Who knows where he'd be at Chelsea in this lineup, right?
Nowhere.
I mean, who knows if he'd even be there, some other team, etc. So I do go by history, even though different shirt, different country club, I get that. But Cesco has scored, 1, 2 goals, and Gyökeres is on 7 or 8. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, the numbers just don't add up yet. But I'll give Cesco time, Fate. I hear what you're saying. And I'm glad you held me to that. But I'm not going to give United any sort of props at all, especially when we're 6 points above and top of the league and United are happy because they strung 3 wins together.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And big up Rizzy Mac as well. He says Gyökeres needs to keep scoring because the moment Havertz is ready. Well, no, guys, we know when Havertz comes back, he's going to get time. Like he's not going to get shut out. And when Havertz is due back, he's due back in November sometime. I think it's mid-November. We have a pretty easy run of Champions League games outside of Bayern, where he's going to get some serious minutes. And outside of Chelsea and Tottenham, our Premier League schedule is arguably pretty easy. Like I think the only other one that we have in there is Sunderland. So look at the end of the day,
not easy either. I mean,
I think Sunderland at the Stadium of Light is going to be really tough.
But TJ, let me ask you this: Is Sunderland away tougher than playing Chelsea?
Chelsea at home or Chelsea away?
Just make the matches
based off of what I've heard so far, yes. Or based off of what I've watched so far, because the Stadium of Light, they're rocking, and Sunderland are good away too. Like they're challenging teams. They're not getting battered. Like I think the one game that they had that was really bad, where you're just kind of like, oh, I'm not sure, is when they played against Burnley. And when they played against United, they looked like shit against United. But those were the 2 games out of we're up to 9 now, where they didn't look pretty solid or didn't look like they had a chance of winning the game. Like
they're second in the league, right? Are they second
in the league right now? If you would have told me that on October 26, 2025, that Sunderland were going to be in a Champions League spot, I wouldn't have believed you. I would be thrilled though, because I think it's an incredible story. They get relegated back to back 10 years ago, and they get back and they fight. I mean, they went through like 2 or 3 different owners on the way back. Like it's a fantastic story and good for them. There's a lot of I know a lot of Newcastle fans that are going to fucking hate me for saying this. Shout out Steve. But it's a good Sunderland are a Premier League side. Period.
Right now, on form for sure.
Period. Like for sure. Like more, I rate them higher as a Premier League side than I would rate like Burnley or
absolutely.
It's one of those things where I just think like, if you're picking a Premier League that you want to see, Sunderland are a part of it. So,
I agree. I mean, I think it's reminiscent of what we saw Nottingham Forest do 2 seasons ago when they were in the top 4 for a pretty good length of time. I think till around January or so, and then things started falling apart a bit. Things started falling apart. Other teams, Liverpool came up there. We were up there. City. Chelsea and even Newcastle 2 seasons ago, right, when they had Isak firing on all cylinders, and even last season when he was. We're really battling for that third and fourth position. So I think we'll see that with Sunderland. I think at the end of the day, they'll still finish maybe 12th.
Yeah.
Right, because I do think the wheels will come off the cart eventually. There are games they're going to lose. You throw in a few draws, and, all of a sudden you see yourself, from second down to like fifth or sixth. But I could be wrong. I thought Forest were going to fall off early, 2 seasons ago, and they remained in fourth place and third at times. And that was all the way good till January, February, and I think they ended up at 6th or 7th that season, and obviously have a Europa League spot, and just beat Porto on 2 penalties. I thought Porto were going to run over them a bit, but again, here we are back going to Forest. Shout out Yeti, but 3-1, yeah. Barcelona down in the dumps.
The will is going to be absolutely unbearable this week.
I'm happy. That's my Spanish team, so yeah, big up.
Yeah, I just have to deal. Like, you're not outward about it. You're not talking to me about it and chatting shit to me all the time. This football carnage guy, he will not shut the fuck up about it. I'm not. I'm not looking forward to it.
Don't watch yourself. No, I'm just playing,
dude. It's whatever. It's whatever. Whatever. I don't give a shit about La Liga.
I don't watch the Liga that much either. I mean, all the games are at the same time, so I would have liked to watch today's game, but nah. I think that overall, bro, I thought today was better than Fulham. It wasn't as good as Atletico Madrid, but we weren't facing Atletico Madrid, right? I mean, we can only play who's in front of you on the schedule, and we knew this game was going to be a defensive battle because, like I said, the back four is not bad. Munez, top player, he's already been looked at by Barcelona, I think, or looking at Munez to bring him in. So, I mean, they've got some decent players. I thought Adam Wharton today was not the Adam Wharton we've seen before. He gave the ball away. Mateta didn't have much of anything. Man. Yeah, I just don't see the hype. I mean, there's some good physicality in the middle of the park, but other than that, his passes weren't that good. Mateta was off it today. Gabriel pretty much had him in his pocket.
You could tell he was frustrated throughout most of that match, bro.
And but again, TJ, I still think there was times, like you were saying earlier, like even in transition, if those balls come over the top to Mateta, is Gabriel going to switch off for that half a second? Is Saliba going to be slightly out of position? And that just gives Mateta that much more emphasis to go forward and just slot the ball in, even just like shoot it outside the box. The guy's foot is like a hammer, and I think there was maybe a few times for that, but not. Again, it looked better than Fulham, but Fulham have dropped, I think, 4 straight now. So I don't think they're obviously much of a threat. The wheels have fallen off that cart too. But today, man, 3 points in the bag, 6 points on top. City lose, Chelsea lose, Liverpool lose. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Twisted Fate. He did start today. Go back and watch the highlights. He scored a fantastic goal. If you didn't watch it, it was absolutely insane. Both midfields were not very good with the passing, especially in the first half, bro. I felt like I was watching kindergarten ball. Like it was really, really tough. It was really, really tough the first 20 minutes to watch, and you're just kind of like, man, we aren't waking up. We aren't taking care of the ball. Like Connor was messaging us asking like, why are we not, like, why do we only have one shot on goal? Like what the hell's going on? And look, like it took a little while to grow into games, but at the end of the day, like I'm not going to put too much weight on it outside of what I've already talked about. 3 points is 3 points, especially against Crystal Palace, the same Crystal Palace that kept us from winning the league last year when we went to Selhurst Park and lost. Like, look, I'm going to take this 3 points and I'm going to keep it fucking stepping because there are other teams, there are other things and spotlights we can put out there and look, like, not to deviate from the game a little bit more, but we have our rivals, Chelsea losing, Liverpool are done. They're done. They're not, they are, I think they are out. When you're losing to
5 out of 6
clubs
games
that they're losing against 4 league games in a row, and it doesn't look like it's gonna get any better. Like,
let me ask you real quick. Sorry to cut you off. What do you think? Say 2 or 3 of the main causes of that are?
I think it's. Oh, you mean for Liverpool and why they're losing? I think there's a lot of things that people are going to call me a fraud, but this is what I've been seeing. I think that Mo Salah had a season last season that will never be repeated. I think that's number one. I think he had one of the best seasons of his career. He's a future Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong, but that Saleh is not around anymore. And you are and Slot is depending on individual performances to get him over the line over tactics. And that's a big problem because I don't see Slot really changing how he plays in reaction to not only the sides that he's playing, but the different phases of the match. Like I'm not seeing it. And I as a result, the players are underperforming. Like I've been gassing up, last season we were gassing up their midfield. You're talking about Szoboszlai, you're talking about McAllister, you're talking about all those guys. McAllister is a shell of himself. I have no idea the player that I'm watching. And I think that has a lot to do with how Slot is coaching these guys or not managing them, to be 100% honest with you. So long answer to a short question. And I want to get your opinion on this too. Sure. I think Slot is looking a little bit out of his depth. They're in a tailspin that they have not been in before under this manager. And there's a lot of Liverpool fans right now that are Slot out because they do not see a light at the end of the current tunnel, which I don't necessarily blame them. You could have seen, like, I saw a couple of people getting gassed about the win against Frankfurt. Okay, great job.
Yeah. I mean,
but if you're not beating Brentford, and a team that nobody rated at the beginning of the season, that a lot of people were saying to go down, and you know what? And big up their former freaking set piece coach is now managing them into a 10th place finish potentially. Like, big up Brentford and big up Crystal Palace and big up everybody else that's beaten Liverpool, Chelsea. Like, these are teams that Liverpool, as defending champion, should be beating, but they're not. So, but 100%. I want to ask your question back. Like, what do you think their problem is?
I think that their number one problem is
United. Sorry about that. You guys beat them at Anfield to start your run. Good for you.
It did. I think number one is Florian Wirtz. I don't think Slot has changed the tactics that much, like you were saying, and maybe he doesn't know what to do. But I think it really lies in it's Florian Wirtz. And I'm not going to really count the money because at the end of the day, the money doesn't matter, right? I mean, it does. They spent 145, 50 million.
Wow, I would a little bit of a performance.
009, basically, right? Yeah, so it does a little bit matter, but it's just not clicking. They're not getting what they need from an attacking midfielder, right? Who's supposed to be the shit. He's supposed to be one of the top 10 in the world, essentially. German international, right? It clicks when he's on the Germany squad. It clicked at Leverkusen, but it's just, it's just bad. It's really bad to watch him play. Like, I think he had a decent shot yesterday that was far wide of the post. I just don't see how that team integrates and this with him that well right now. It may click later on, but by that time, they may be 5th or 6th in the table. Number 2, Isak. I mean, he was out the first 3 weeks of the season, so Hugo Ekitike has to take on this huge role now.
Ekitike's been the better player by
exactly
miles.
Miles, yes, I would agree that. Isak looks out of place, and when you have him on the pitch and he's out of place, along with Florian Wirtz, who just can't figure shit out, to be honest, gives the ball away, back heels to no one, and just can't really run and do the things that they need him to do. And you combine those two together, your attack's going to fall off. And they were winning games, let's be honest, in the 89th minute, right? With a Virgil van Dijk header or whatever, or bounces off and somebody pokes it in. And a Szoboszlai worldie against us. Yeah. They need a CB, right. And then my third one was going to be Konate. He is not a Premier League player, bro. He looks like a fucking drunken giraffe out there sometimes. He just gave up on that goal against Brentford for Sade. I mean, it's just, Konate is just not that good. As a physical presence, yes, but him and Van Dijk together, it's not working out. They need a mobile a smaller mobile player like a Saliba or someone like LaCroix.
Yeah.
Like they wanted Mark Guehi. Obviously, that didn't work out, which I still don't think would be the right answer. They need a smaller in stature center back who's good on the ball and can really run up and down, right? And those three together, and along with what you're saying with slot tactics not really changing and not even figuring it out. And then again, your fifth point, McAllister. To be honest, I never really rated the guy that much. I just thought he was.
Well, I thought he was fantastic last season.
Yeah, but that's one season. What, he's been there 4 years.
Yeah,
I just never really rated the guy that much. I still think he's kind of weak physically. He has off games, which really puts them off. And a combination of those 4 or 5 things, it's fantastic. Right? We love it, right? And I know Fate loves it as a United fan too, right? And Slabhead winning them 2-1, incredible. I just don't, and Hincapie, right? And Hugo makes a good point. Hincapie would be a massive upgrade.
And they were linked. I was really surprised they didn't go back because I think he walks into that team at this point. Like, and there's another, and there's
back or left back. I'm not 100%.
No, I mean, he could play either one because he's so mobile and he can play. I think he played center back and fullback at Leverkusen. But here's the thing too is like you got to look at Kerkez too. Defensively,
he's okay.
He's been okay, but he hasn't been great.
Right.
Like, and the entire, if you line up that entire back line, they're all criminals, dude. They're like Virgil van Delegate, bro. This guy has completely lost it. He looks completely off of it.
Completely lost it. Okay,
dude. I think come
He's
on.
32?
Yesterday, he looked like he was running in cement shoes, bro.
Yeah, he's busy. Yeah, he's busy being a captain.
I keep telling people, and they don't want to hear it. They keep telling people this, and they don't want to hear it. Kerkez, other than that game against Arsenal, has been mid.
True.
He's not been great. And look, a lot of that is so. At the end of the day, if you aggregate all of these things, because we've talked about 7 or 8 players just in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a manager problem. That's not a
tactics.
Yeah, that's you not adjusting to your players, or you're not properly motivating your players. Like, look, I understand that Alisson's injured. I understand that, Mamardashvili is looking a little rough. But you have 10 outfield players that look terrible. You have Isak. You have Liverpool fans defending Isak, saying that he needs time to adjust. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, you guys were bigging up. You guys were bigging up Wirtz, and I didn't even bring up Wirtz because I think it's more of a systemic problem. But Wirtz, who is supposed to be the best 10 in the world, or at least that was what I was told.
Top 5 or 10,
awful, dude. He looks awful.
Horrible.
Yeah.
He looks completely lost out there, and I don't know if that's just from Slot's tactics or Wirtz not acclimating to the league, or Wirtz not. I mean, I think it's a combination of all three. Right? He's not connecting with his teammates. He's not understanding what Slot wants him to do. He's in he's got the number 7 Liverpool shirt on, which holds a lot of weight. And he's in that central midfield role, but he's not in that gap, right? Oh, hey, big up TK.
Big up TK.
Put it on the nail on the head earlier, is that that last season he was running off the Klopp aura, and that's 100% true. Those players were ready to play regardless of what manager came in, and you add on the solid, performances. You're gonna win some games, right? And they ran away with it early in the league. Remember, they went, I think, the first 6 or 7 games undefeated. If I remember, maybe lost one. I can't go way too back. But dude, they had a pretty substantial lead at the beginning of the season, especially going into Christmas time. And what needs to happen there is exactly what you were saying earlier. Or even Hugo was saying, they need a Hincapie type player. They need a mobile center back, because I do agree with you. Van Dijk isn't it much anymore, but he also could be the catalyst for them to go forward, right, at the same time. And that's why I don't really write off Virgil van Dijk, but he is not the player he was last 3 or 4 years. I get that, but he's still one of the better center backs in the league. But it's just, I don't know, man. Luis Diaz has been
I mean, he's looking like it because Cody Gakpo hasn't been really filling in that role on the left very well either. True. But look, there were points. Here's the thing: is like there were points over the last 2 or 3 years where Liverpool wanted to ship Luis Diaz back to Colombia. So like, let's relax. Right. I agree that he was a loss, but he is doing well at Bayern Munich. But I think Cody Gakpo is struggling in the system right now. I think everybody's struggling in the system, and they are depending on individual performances way too much. Like these guys were, I mean, they were inshallah, as Staffy would say, in 90th minute and inshallah, like pray to God that we're going to get something done, and they did. And I thought, and we were saying on this show, on this channel, on American Waffle, on every show that you and I were going on, is saying like this is not sustainable. Right. This is not sustainable, and they're going to need to figure out another way to get 3 points, and they haven't yet. And you know what? Long may it continue, because the amount of arrogance that I was encountering from these Liverpool fans was astounding.
Right. And especially the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, like Hussam is cooked. Yeah, he is cooked. And there is no and big up Don Hussam, but he can absolutely hold that. He can absolutely hold it, because the amount of we're just going to win the league, we're going to dog walk it, it's not a problem. No, absolutely not. You guys bigged up a bunch of signings that don't fit into the system, that aren't comfortable in the Premier League, and now you're holding what? Now they're in what, 6th? Like, hold it. And I hope I don't end up regretting those words at the end of the season, because we need to be winning this title now. We need to be winning this title.
But you're right. 4 Prem games, bro. That's 12 points dropped. That's 12 points dropped. They are more arrogant sometimes, United fans, because United fans, I'm not going to speak for every United fan, but United fans, I think, know that they have a good squad, but I just think that, there's just improvements, right? United, for me, are really hard to define right now, because it's good and bad, and it goes kind of back and forth. But again, 3 games on the trot, or on the bounce, whatever the verbiage you want to use. I mean, that's 9 points they definitely needed to get out of 15th at one time, or 14th. I just they have right back now. I mean, and Acer said Trent Alexander is a huge loss for them. Not only was he a good right back who could invert, and he had a great shot and good on set pieces, etc., but he teamed up extremely well with Virgil van Dijk. And Konate, though, for me, dude, is just not it. And I bigged him up 4 years ago.
2 years ago when 3 years ago when we started this channel, dude, you and I were talking about Konate because locking us down, especially in that 22-23 season when we first started. We were extremely we were rating Konate until the cows come home, because he was just bodying our players. Like, there were games where he was just bodying Martinelli, and I'm like, God, this guy's so good. But ever since then, brutal. They call him Konate. Like, this guy is just getting dribbled around. Like, I can't believe the fall off, man. I can't believe it.
But just, I mean, you could go back and look at the Sade goal for Brentford yesterday. Just complete. Oh, fuck. Boo.
Whatever.
It's going to be 1-1.
They'll choke.
They'll choke. Yeah, I don't think they'll lose. I think that game's got 1-1 written all over it.
Yeah, I know. I think that was what I turned in, actually.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. I
think that's for Staffy's little deal. Yeah.
I just the liver. It's hard to define United. Liverpool aren't clicking. Chelsea are really hit or miss. Right. I mean, it's just all over the place. Those are 3 teams. I mean, 2 out of 3 of those teams are hard to really kind of define, meaning United and Chelsea right now. You just don't know what you're going to get weekend after weekend. It's either really good or it's really poor. There really doesn't seem to be a middle ground. And I thought the United-Liverpool game was really good last weekend. With Slabhead putting one in. Those are the games, they like to see. We like to see it because they were down on points. And like Fate said, they're already on points now than they were, last season. So there's the same points. Exactly. So I think that United can be a threat if they can just get, a couple more wins under their belt. They'd be, let's say, 5 straight wins. You're looking at 15 points. which would be massive for them to at least be, top 4 contenders right now. And I just don't feel the same for Chelsea. I just don't see them going on any substantial run.
Yeah, and the thing with Chelsea though is that if they fall apart, they have a really really hard time getting out of the tailspin, kind of like we did 2-3 years ago. Like it really does remind me of that. And there's just decisions that Maresca makes that have cost them points. But dude, they need to fix that back line. If we're talking about Chelsea, that back line was garbage. Did you see that the winning goal from Sunderland?
Yeah,
Toasted, and I forget who else was on that back line with him. Just stood there and fucking watched him do it. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Their back line's
at home in front of their own fans.
Let me ask you this: is it worse than Liverpool?
Yeah, it is.
Chelsea's back line's worse than Liverpool.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, but they're world champs. Yeah, and this is the thing about Chelsea is that they're gonna be so inconsistent. I think they'll still get top 4, top 5. I'll say top 4. They'll still get top 4, but they're gonna be their performances have just been so mad inconsistent.
Right.
And it's because of that back line, and it's because of that clown they have as a goalkeeper. How can you sleep, dude? How can you sleep? And I know this is an Arsenal review, but we're just going in on everybody else too. Well, it's been a minute since me and Dow. It's been a minute since me and Dow just been able to talk about this shit. You have to believe that with that back line, like how does Maresca sleep at night with that back line and that goalkeeper? Like if I were them, man, and people keep saying, oh, but whatever, bring Panders in from Strasbourg and start him now because Matt Penders, bro, from Strasbourg. He's very good. He's the goalkeeper for Strasbourg. He's on loan from Chelsea. They need to bring him in because Sanchez is not the future of that club. He's not. He has shown that he has cost them so many points. You aggregate the amount of points that his mistakes have cost Chelsea. Holy shit. It's a lot. It's in the 20s at this point.
Yeah, oh no, he's terrible. And I mean, if Chelsea have any balls, I would go for.
No, yeah, if they want to get relegated, yeah, sure.
Those 2 keepers, I think Chelsea should go for. That's Matt Sells from Forest, who I rate highly, and this may be a wild one.
In the league last season.
But if they have the money, which we know they do, but if they have the real power to pull it off, would go get Sommer from Inter Milan.
Yep.
Those 2 to me are top rated goalkeepers. I mean, they could even make a play for Oblak. I mean, he's been at Atletico Madrid since he was like 5 years old. I mean, not that that's really going to happen, but Chelsea have the power and obviously the financial power and the world clout to kind of get whoever they really want. But that's been part of their problem too, right? Is they are buying whoever they want, and they're just trying to fit a bunch of square pegs into a bunch of round holes. And you're right, the defensive line is absolutely shit. It's terrible. Cucurella is.
I hate Cucurella, and here's the thing:
he's got to be the most hated Premier League player.
Cucurella is a fucking rat, Spanish sideshow Bob. But I'm not going to say anything bad about him because he's been him and Reece James are the only thing keeping that team together right now. On the defensive side of the ball, dude.
Enzo's falling off.
Enzo hasn't. Enzo hasn't been great. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they are getting key wins, but it's the bozo moments with them. They've got 5 red cards this season. 5.
Wow. See, there we go. We just called it.
What did we say? What did we say? I need that result. I need that result to hold, man. I need that result. Yeah, no, he's a rat. You will not hear Cucurella prop on this channel. You will not hear it. I can't stand that guy.
No,
I can't stand him.
But let's go. Let's just take a minute to go back and look at this World Championship. They did it with Kai Havertz, right? Oh shit, it's Vard. They did it with Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, Conor Gallagher. Yeah,
they did it with Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah. Nicholas,
right?
I don't think Jackson was even on the club yet. In the club yet.
And not one of those because they've won all 4 UEFA 4 or 5. They've won all 4 or 5 UEFA.
Yeah, but are we really talking about the Conference League? Like, who cares?
No, but it matters to them because when you
I
put
know
that
because
together,
we won every trophy.
I mean, that's a massive accomplishment, to be honest. That really is.
Yeah, no,
but that's a huge thing, bro. You've won them all. Like, you've won them all. But every one of those teams were different. Every time they've won it, it's been a complete different squad from the one before. Given the take a few players, right? But to be honest, it's completely different, and that's been their makeup every time. And it is overhyped, Fate, but I mean, that is an incredible achievement, and I'm not trying to gas them up. It's just for any team to win that would be like, we would flaunt that as well. Let's be honest, we would flaunt that as well. I think we would come with some. If we won the Europa League and the Champions League, the
okay. Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: is if we won, okay. So if we won the Champions League or the Europa League or an FA Cup or whatever, I would be touting it. But here's the thing: I would be touting it more than I would be touting the Club World Cup. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be shameless about that because, like, I'm sorry. The the Club World Cup, like, is a joke until the semifinals. It's a joke because the fact that you had you had Auckland City, you have I know you still have to win it. And I've said this before. Yeah, Kaiser Chiefs are there. Like, you have Inter Miami. You have Inter Miami that got in because they won a supporter shield. Bullshit. I get it. Bullshit. Yeah. You included them because they had Messi. Stop.
Right. For sure. And David Beckham has a big pocketbook. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just like,
I totally get what you're saying, but I mean, it's still I kind of look at it as like, okay, F you guys.
Boo. Anyway, they'll concede. It's fine. They'll concede.
Yeah, no. So we can stop talking about the blue chavs all we want, right? I mean, it's just I don't know. They're a shadow of who they used to be, but they've also been a team that's been through so many different managers in the last 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Scolari, Ancelotti, Sarr. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So no, we don't need to gas them up anymore. But what we do need to gas up is that we are not conceding goals at Arsenal Football Club right now. We have, I think, the best defense in Europe, and I will say that, and the stats will back me up on that for the most part. You start to look at these teams, and even today at Palace, I'm like, where are the goals going to come from? If Mateta doesn't get a foot ahead of Gabriel, where are the goals going to come from? And they bring on Eddie fucking Nketiah.
Yeah,
I just don't see teams really playing that touch, tiki-taka, slot at far post between Raya's legs, and it's just not really going to happen, I don't think, in the foreseeable future.
No, I think it's because we have 5 players on the pitch that could play center back at any time. And outside of Zubamendi's stinker at the beginning of the game, like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna rate it, but the rest of the game he's been fine. And outside of that small sample size, I think he's been a godsend for Arsenal. I think he's been fantastic. Yeah. I think, and I said this on American Waffle, I'll say it here. I think that he will go down as the signing of the season for Arsenal because he just looks 10 times smarter than anybody else on the pitch at times.
Clever.
He can finish. He's clever. He's good on the ball for the most part. And does not, and he's for other than today, he's very, very responsible with the ball, and he can play it through. Like, this guy, he's a fantastic midfielder, and there's a reason why clubs like Liverpool were interested in him. Like, you remember, and Madrid. You go back 14 months. Go back 14 months, and you all you would see are Liverpool streams just about how they want to bring in Zubamendi and how he's linked there. And he didn't want to go there. He didn't want to go to anywhere but Arsenal. And he comes to Arsenal. He's been absolutely cooking. And wrapping up your point, because I gotta go here in a minute, but wrapping up kind of the point that you were establishing is that we do have the best defense in Europe, and I don't think it's arguable. I really don't. You have the best, and this is bar none. I'm putting my chest out there. the best center back in Europe is Gabriel Magalhaes.
100%.
Period. And there's not even it's not even close. It's not even close.
Right. And I was going to go ahead. I'm sorry. Nope. Go ahead. I was going to throw Bastoni in there, but they just got tonked 4-1 by Napoli.
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about a Napoli that just got bopped off the pitch.
6-2 by
6-2 by no, it's PSV, bro.
PSV, that's
like,
right.
God,
that's right.
It was just you're just like,
it's madness.
And the dichotomy, the parody is just madness in all these competitions. But the one team that has been completely like, we've been so consistent and so solid on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, and we're not even talking about Saliba, and I hope his injury isn't serious. I don't think it is. It looked precautionary, but you have Jurrien Timber, who arguably is the best right back in the Premier League, and that's not even. I don't think it's debatable.
Phenomenal today,
he's
bro.
Phenomenal. And he was
Deacon doing 360, 180 spins with the ball with 3 defenders on him and shit. It's just like, what?
Yeah, I mean, It's not. I don't think it's outrageous. Good. I don't think it's outrageous to say. And we could talk. You and I talk with some sense, kind of like, I think you and I are a lot more measured than some of our fellow streamers are, just because, I don't want to say, oh yeah, we're going to win the league in October and then end up eating shit in March. Like I'm not going to do that. But when what you see with your eyes is so undeniable, you have to say it. We have the best defense in the league, and it starts from Zubamendi and Rice back, and it's just
Rice. Rice was a center back in West Ham in his early years, right? So that's fifth defender that you were talking about. But to I kind of lost my point there for a second.
No, it's all good.
I was going to ask you before we go, what did you think of Arteta today? What did you think about the subs, the tactics, etc.?
He adjusted well to the game, I think. Like, look, I'm not. People are going to say, "Oh, TJ, you're an Arteta fence writer." I think he's been fantastic this season on the average. Obviously, the results are putting it out there. I think that outside of outside of Man City and outside of Liverpool, he's been managing these games very, very well. Today, his subs were good based on the flow of the game.
True.
So if you look, we didn't seriously look like scoring at any point in that second half. Yeah, we had a couple of set pieces, but there were not many chances, like really good, clean, quality chances that we were getting. Right. And I think Arteta saw that and it's like, you know what, we're gonna play 5 at the back. We're just gonna lock up shop. I messaged you guys in the group chat in 75th minute. I'm like, as soon as he brings off who did he bring up? As soon as he brought on Nkapie and Miles Lewis-Skelly, and you see that he's playing 5 at the back for I think he brought him off for like Declan Rice and Calafiori. Yep. As soon as you see that, you're just like, yeah, we're closing up shop. It's over. Put the close sign on. It's done. Triple lock the bitch, and it's over. Right. So so to answer your question again, I think he managed very, very well today. I'm not going to give him a 10 out of 10. But I think just based off the situation, the subs were great.
Right. And considering the opposition, they are not going to let you free flow pass the ball through their defending third. So Crystal Palace is not going to let you do that. Right. And again, like we said earlier, they're not Atletico Madrid. They're just not. They're primed Premier League proven players. I know prime maybe is a bit much, but they're proven Premier League players.
They are.
Very good.
They just won an FA Cup, man. You can't say
exactly. And they lost their best player, and they still are clicking. Even though Jeremy Pino, I mean, you can say what you want about him. He's okay, right? But they're not a team you're going to just go out and put 4 on in the first half or even 3.
Right.
The Eze goal, which we talked about earlier, just lit the fire, and you could see a lot more better play from that. And second half was kind of but a 1-0 win at home, 1-0 Arsenal. It's a song. It's been chanted, ole, ole, for decades. So this 1-0 wins isn't anything new. Would we want to see more? I was hoping for that second goal because I think if we scored a second goal, let's say the 75th minute, game's done. Game is done. Right. And I was begging for that second goal, and it just didn't happen. You know, I mean, again, Trossard let that ball off. It's bouncing. You know, Dean Henderson's like, oh shit. You know, looking at the ball behind him, and Gyökeres ain't fucking there. You know, and so there's still a lot of kinks to iron out. But other than that, TJ, I thought it was, you know, great. 6 points above. Great show today. Thanks for having me on. I know you got to run.
Man. I got to run. I got to run.
And big up balloon shirt there from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Shout out quickly. What did you think of the Balloon Festival?
It was incredible. It's incredible. Huh? Yeah. So what we did, and this is, well, we're big up Don C. I'll see you a little bit later, bro. No, we went hiking up in the hills, like above, because you know they do that balloon launch in that little valley. Yeah. And we went hiking up there, so we saw the ascension like from there, and it was fantastic, bro. It was so cool. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
You got there early in the morning for all that. Yeah, cool. I remember living there
my
for
fucking ass off because because it's cold in the goddamn desert.
It's cold up there, bro. That elevation's pretty high up there. But yeah, I lived there. Oh god, I did 5th and 6th grade there in school. So this was like 1985, 86, right? So I remember vividly going there with my parents when I was young and being there early in the morning, drinking hot chocolate, watching them fire up the balloons and them all go. It's spectacular.
It's so cool.
So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you had a good time. Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. All right, guys. That's the show. Big up 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Everyone in the chat.
Yeah, and big up everybody in the chat. Big up Acers, big up Hugo, big up Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate, good to see you coming over from Staffy. Don C, I'll see you a little bit later, buddy. We gotta God, we can't even throw it in Flawless's face. He got 3 points too. But yeah, big up everybody that was here as well. We got
Hugo Acers.
Hugo Acers, Rizzy. Twisted Fate, Rizzy Mac, baby. Good to see you guys.
Nice.
We are going to be redirecting you guys over. If you guys are still here, we're going to redirect you over to Deji, who is probably cutting a new record right now. Please no. But we'll catch you a little bit later in the week for match reaction, and we'll see you next time.